Hi guys, Look here and welcome to my final video of 2018. I can't believe I am saying that, guys. What a year 2018 has been, in terms of sports and stuff like that for England and Liverpool getting to the Champions League final, and also for me on YouTube. It has been my best year on YouTube, and honestly guys, especially in the past 2 months in particular since FIFA 19's kind of come out, the support has been crazy. And I'd just like to say, before we get any further into the video, thank you so much for all the support, for subscribing, for putting positive comments, constructive comments as well. It is all appreciated, and I'm going to be making a lot of big changes to hopefully help the channel more once I move house in late to the start of February of the upcoming year. But once again guys, thank you so much for the support. And yes, this video I thought I'd change it up a little bit to end of 2018. I'm going to be doing a winter upgrade predictions video. I might have done this last year as well, I can't remember, but I thought instead of ending on a player review, I'd end on a bit of a different type of video and all that good stuff. So let's get into the first player. Okay guys, so getting into the first player, and it is going to be the City left back Alex Sandro. I did actually review his second in form just a few days ago, and I have to say I was thoroughly impressed with him, and I recommended you guys to buy him, not just because of how good he is in FIFA 18, in FIFA 19, but also because he could be a very interesting investment. So far, a few statistics just to read out for Alex Sandro. He's already had 2 informs in FIFA 19, which for a left back in the first few months of FIFA is very, very rare, but also very impressive at the same time. He's currently had 15 games in Serie A, winning an average of 1.2 aerials per game, which for a left back yet again is very impressive. Also 2 man of the matches and 2 assists, and let's be honest, to get 2 man of the matches in what is still a difficult league, and also a league with, certainly in Juventus, a lot of talented players as well, with CR7, Khedira, Mandzukic, Douglas Costa, Giolini, the list goes on of how many good players there are in that team, and for him to get 2 man of the matches already in 15 Serie A appearances is fantastic. I don't think he's scored any goals yet in Serie A, but even so, he's been very consistent. They're unbeaten as well still in Serie A, with 16 wins and 1 draw, I believe, or something to that extent, which is also once again extremely impressive and just shows how good he is as a defender and also as an attacker, with those 2 man of the matches and those 2 assists as well. So for me, definitely an upgrade to Alex Sandro is overdue, and certainly in terms of defending, I put his defending up by 3 to 85 because that's definitely deserved. His defending is fantastic. Also 1 upgrade in pace, 1 upgrade in passing as well. The whole card just deserves a nice little bump up in an upgrade, and obviously his 88 inform would go to an 89 inform of absolutely ridiculous stats as well. So for me, definitely the first player is going to be Alex Sandro. Let's get into player number 2. Okay guys, so getting into the second player, and is going to be the German left winger Marco Reus. What a start to the season he has had. Pretty much just revived his career. Obviously in the past few seasons he's been known to be a very injury prone player and has struggled to find any kind of consistent form at Borussia Dortmund, and Borussia Dortmund as a club have struggled in recent seasons as well. But at the start of this season, a fantastic start to them, obviously doing very well, top of the Bundesliga, and I have to say this guy has probably been the main big player for them overall. He's already had 17 games this season, 5 assists, 4 man of the matches and 11 goals. That's a fantastic return. Also picking up 1 inform and 2 player of the months. I believe there's been 3 player of the month so far in FIFA 19. He has won 2 of them, which is absolutely fantastic, and definitely a big upgrade is due to him. That's why I've gone from him going from an 85 to an 87, because I think that is deserved at the minimum for how consistent he has been with Dortmund so far this season. A few stats that I've upgraded him with are the 3 extra pace, the 2 extra passing, and the 1 extra shooting as well. This would make his player of the month, his second player of the month, a 91 rated card. And obviously Marco Reus is a very good card to use in FIFA. The only problem to him, and it's a really bad problem to him, is going to be obviously his stamina. So hopefully his stamina would also be increased a little bit more. This is literally a guaranteed upgrade essentially. EA will not ignore this card. The fact that he's had 2 player of the months is obviously fantastic. Mohamed Salah last year had a few player of the months before Christmas, and he got a winter upgrade as well. The same will apply to this Marco Reus. He's a guaranteed upgrade, and I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic to use once his winter upgrade does come out. So let's get into player number 3. Okay guys, so getting into the third upgrade, and it is going to be the Dutch Liverpool defender Virgil Van Dijk. He has had a fantastic season so far with Liverpool, and Liverpool in general obviously fantastic, unbeaten at the start of the Premier League season going into 2019 as well. 7 points clear of second place Manchester City, and I have to say Virgil Van Dijk, a lot of eyebrows were raised when he was signed for £75 million around around this time last year. A lot of people said he wasn't worth it, and let's be honest, 75 million isn't really worth it when we think about it. But in terms of, you know, money nowadays and stuff like that within football, definitely has actually been a bargain. There's 100% well over 100 million now in the football market. But in terms of FIFA, he's already had 2 informs. Liverpool as well, when he conceded like 5 goals in the whole season, which is genuinely ridiculous. And arguably, the whole Liverpool defence, Robertson, Arnold, deserve upgrades as well. But for me, Van Dijk has been the main man, the big leader in the defence. Arguably, in my opinion, should now be the Liverpool captain. He's a much more of a leader than Jordan Henderson as well. But yeah, once again, 2 informs, made 20 appearances so far in the Premier League. Aerials 1, he wins an average of 4.1 aerials per game in the Premier League, which is insane. Also 2 man of the matches, which is very good for a centre-back, and 1 goal as well. And he also does have a Champions League live card as well, so which is obviously fantastic. So 3 awesome special cards he's being given. Another guaranteed upgrade for me, and arguably you could say this card could easily go to an 87 instead of an 86, but even so, with the upgrade, they are going to give him an extra 2 pace, an extra 2 defending. Again, you could argue maybe there's an extra 3 or 4 defending, but EA technically don't often go over the top on upgrades. That's why I want to give him 2 defending, just because that's probably more realistic, and also 1 physical as well. But he's been fantastic for Liverpool. I think he could be one of the main players that hopefully brings us home the Premier League in 2019, but we'll have to see. But even so, that's going to be player number 3. Let's move into player number 4. Okay guys, so moving into our 4th upgrade, and this is probably one that a lot of people might find a little bit weird, but he 100% deserves an upgrade. That's going to be the Polish Genoa striker, Piatek. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. He's been going absolutely ridiculously well with Genoa. I don't think Genoa are doing actually that well in the Serie A, but in terms of an individual performance, he's been absolutely fantastic, and obviously that is what gives you the winter upgrade, obviously based on individual performances. And in 18 Serie A appearances, he has picked up 13 goals, 1 man of the match, and has an average of 4.1 shots per game, which is insane. And yet this guy seems not to have any inform in FIFA 19 now. Unfortunately, that could be the difference between getting an upgrade and not. EA often do tend to look at, well, obviously I don't work for EA, so I don't exactly know, but often EA do seem to go with the fact that, oh, this guy's had 2 informs, that's the kind of criteria to get, or 2 special cards, whatever, that's kind of the criteria to get a winter upgrade. That's the way that I look at it a lot of the time. Maybe you guys might disagree, but even so, I think he's not the most likely to get one just because of the rating that he is and that he might not be recognised. But even so, he's playing in a big league. Only Ronaldo has got more goals in Serie A than him this season, which is absolutely ridiculous, because the Serie A is a much more competitive league nowadays than what it was maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago. And this guy definitely still pretty young, only 23 years of age, really much just arrived on the scene. I think this is his first season as well in Italy, and the guy is absolutely doing fantastic, and in my opinion definitely deserves an upgrade. But guys, let's get into player number 5. Alright guys, so moving into the next player, and it is going to be the 91 rated left winger, Eden Hazard. He has been having a fantastic season with Chelsea. Chelsea not necessarily playing out of this world at the moment. They had a very good start to the season and then kind of tailed off after they had a few defeats by like Wolves and teams like that, but still have had some very good wins, such as beating Manchester City at home 2-0, and overall probably are going to be finishing in the top 4, certainly battling with United and Arsenal for the top 4, but probably won't quite reach into the top 3. But even so, Eden Hazard's been their main man now for a number of seasons, and once again he's been absolutely fantastic. These stats are ridiculous. I didn't even know these stats, how he'd been playing so well this season. He does obviously have 1 inform and 1 player of the month, which is obviously a very good sign, but 15 appearances, 10 goals, 8 man of the matches and 9 assists. The fact that he's had 8 man of the matches and essentially over half his games really says something about this guy, and 100% should line him up for a very tasty little upgrade. Some of his stats that I have put up there, including his 1 pace, his 3 shooting, and 1 passing as well. I'd be surprised if they increased his dribbling to higher than 94, but even so, you know, obviously that upgrade to the car would make him absolutely insane. Would definitely obviously rise that price up quite a lot for him, and I think it's definitely an overdue and deserved upgrade for this guy, who could potentially obviously be going to Real Madrid, potentially in the winter transfer or in the summer as well, potentially, but definitely an upgrade is deserved for Eden Hazard. Alright guys, so moving into our 6th player, and it is going to be the 77 rated Andre Silva, the guy who just had a terrible season with Milan last year in Serie A, has once again, similar to Marco Reus, revived his career in La Liga with the very impressive Sevilla team that includes obviously great players such as Pablo Sarabia, Ever Banega. I'm trying to think of more severe players as well, but definitely this guy's been the main stand-up player. Certainly in the first kind of 2 months of the season, Sevilla have tailed off a little bit towards the Christmas period, but even so, still sit in a good position to try and qualify for the Champions League next season. And I have actually made a mistake with this guy. I didn't know until I'd done like the card upgrade that he actually had 1 inform. So he does have 1 inform, which is very nice. So this upgrade is supposed to go to an 81, in which the inform would go to an 82. Some of his increase in their stats have included obviously a 4+ overall upgrade, a 5 increase in pace, 8 in shooting, 7 in dribbling, and some of his stats obviously for the season IRL includes 16 appearances in La Liga with 8 goals, 2 man of the matches, and 3 assists. And definitely for that first part of the season, for the first 2 to 3 months, he was on fire for Sevilla. He's still scoring a few goals here and now as well, but he has just tailed off a little bit. But even so, I think he's definitely in line for a potential nice little upgrade once those upgrades are obviously released. So anyway guys, let's move into the final player. Okay guys, so moving into our final player, and is going to be the 85 rated Raheem Sterling. He's had once again a very good season with Manchester City, already picking himself up 1 inform, 1 player of the month, as well as 1 UEFA Champions League live card. In terms of his IRL stats, he's had 15 appearances, scoring 9 goals, getting himself 4 man of the matches and 6 assists. So literally in terms of like Manchester City scoring, he's already had 15 contributions in 15 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously Manchester City have kind of tailed off around the Christmas period, but obviously did pick up a win against Southampton, so look to be back on form as well. But definitely Raheem Sterling has been very consistent, one of the more consistent players throughout the whole season so far. And in terms of some upgrades I'd give to him, I give him 1 pace, but EA might not give him any because they're a bit funny when they give what pacey players, whenever they get upgrades, EA are very kind of weird. They technically don't deserve, they don't really give them any pace upgrades, but even so, I'd just give him 1 because why the hell not? Also 2 shooting I think is very much deserved, and also 1 passing as well. So that is going to finish off all the winter upgrades in this video. If you want me to do another one of these, I can definitely do so. We're going to see obviously a lot of winter upgrades happen. I'd say a minimum of maybe 30 cards might get upgraded, so I can definitely do another one of these videos. I've got a lot more players in mind that can definitely deserve some upgrades. So yeah, anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.